Ho 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 in the house. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 8, where we are talking about the step-by-step process to get our Canadian permanent residence through express entry. So on day 1, we talked about checking eligibility. On day 2, we talked about taking a language test. On day 3, we talked about the education credential assessment. Day 4, we talked about creating an express entry account. Day 5, we talked about waiting initially before you are invited to apply. Day 6, we talked about the invitation to apply. Day 7, we talked about the waiting after applying for permanent residence. And today we're going to talk about the golden email. This is the best email, in the history of all emails. I've always been applying for jobs here. And whenever I got that, we are delighted to offer you, when you're applying for jobs and stuff, and when you get the position, you're always so happy. But this email is the best email ever. They even call it the golden email in the circles that I am in. So I forgot to mention in the video before this one that while you're waiting, you can always enter the spaces where people are waiting, like Telegram groups, Facebook groups, etc. But anyway, the passport request is a letter that you receive from IRCC when they are ready to issue you your visa. So let's go here and say ready for visa email from IRCC and see what they say about that. That happens when your case has been finalized and they say that, yay, you've met the eligibility, your documents are on par, and then they'll send you, sometimes they'll send you through email, sometimes they'll send it into the system. The first one they send you that just to conflict. If they'll send you with what are these called? Disclaimers that if you're not able to travel or if things have changed in your situation, let's say you have given birth, let's say you've done what, and you haven't informed them yet, they'll give you that grace period. So let's say you've got married and stuff, they'll still give you a grace period to inform them of any changes before they issue your final visa. And if you say that, and if you think that nothing has changed, then you can go ahead and submit your passport. For me, the first one came and I was heavily pregnant. I'd not told them that I'm pregnant because pregnancy is not a life change. Giving birth is a life change. And I was thinking to myself, do I just submit my passport, go and give birth in Canada? Who doesn't want to give birth to a Canadian? Okay, maybe not everyone, but yeah. But I was heavily pregnant. And for sure, my baby came 6 days later. So when I got the letter, I did not do anything about it. I had the baby, then I informed them that, hold on, I need to add the baby. So you still have a little bit of grace period. They still can ask you other things here. They can ask you to provide your proof of funds again, because your immigration is not complete until you've landed here. Even if you have landed, you're only confirmed. You haven't even received your permanent resident card. So always keep your things in order. If you have that money and if you do something with that money, always make sure your balance, the one that you indicated, at least have it ready in your bank account, or be ready to explain how come your money has had a disappearing act from your bank account, which in other countries you can always explain. Like for me, I'm a Zimbabwean, I can explain that I'm not comfortable keeping my money in the bank when it can just wake up and be not USD. It will start being called now RTGS. It will start being called what, and I don't want to deal. So I remove my money and I put it under the pillow. And they have to understand that, because I can link, explanation letters are the best. I can always give them the links that talk about the economy of Zimbabwe in that letter, please go and look at this article. Please, according to the World Bank, whatever, Zimbabwe is suffering this. And I do not keep my money in the bank. So if you want to see it, I'll put it back in the bank, get my statement, and I'll still put it out. So yeah, so anyway, once the letter comes, it will tell you to go to submit your passport, to take other pictures, and submit that letter together with to the VAC center nearest to you. So they don't care if you've moved to another country or whatever. I mean, if it's serious, if you've changed your address, then you need to tell them. But like, let's say you're visiting or whatever, they don't care about that. So you need to send that letter and everything to the VAC. But if you can, please do this at the same place where you do your biometrics, because when you do your biometrics, you're giving that pink slip, and you can always bring that same pink slip and you don't have to pay any transmission fees. Again, we forgot to do that, and when we got there, they asked us, did you do your biometrics here? We said yeah. Then they asked for our pink slip, and we said we left it at home. Then they said, okay, you can go back and get the pink slip and you can do this for free. But here at that point, it's like please tell me how much it is and let it be done. Like, I don't have time, right? I don't have time. So yeah, everything is like done here online, guys. Oh, the other thing is your passport should still have validity. It should still have validity for them to put, I think it's at least 6 months for them to put that counterfoil on there. Another thing is waiting for that passport to come back is also, like I've said, the waiting is excruciating, guys. That one is painful because you're like, I will not rest until I see, like, everything I've been waiting for, everything I've been working towards is this. So you cannot rest. So I think mine took about 21 days to come back, but it was so hard. It was hard to wait and everything. So now after that, you're now thinking about deciding on a landing date. Let's say your passport now comes back. In other countries, they have a courier services where they come and take your passport and then they'll come and return it. So it depends with whatever you're using, but like, yeah, you have to do that. Anywho, so now when it comes to deciding on landing date, I mean, it depends, guys. Some people are given, like, your visa is only valid for entering once. It's a single entry visa. After that, you cannot use it again. But this visa's validity is mainly determined by your medicals. So the medicals that you take, the expiry date are usually a year. And mind you, you've already spent like almost a year going through this process by the time they're almost to expire. So either you take new medicals if you want like a longer period to move, or like, for example, we took our medicals in January. We got our ready for visa, the second one, the final one, we got that in June or July, right? So, and our visa was going to expire in January. So we had like 6 months to move. And then you're also thinking about by the time January comes, it will be peak winter in India. Sorry, not India. Sorry. In Canada. It will be peak winter in Canada. So you want to move like a little bit earlier before, it's peak winter, because I will be like adjusting to the new weather and everything. So keeping that in mind, depending with your situation and when you think, because for some people they can't just up and leave. They have jobs they need to resign from, they have businesses they need to assign to other people, they have houses which they need to figure out who's going to take care of them, they have other assets that they need to sell. So it's not everybody who will be able to up and move in a month like we did. But yeah, you want to do that. So for me, I try, like, when it's now time to book my ticket, I used a website called Skyscanner, which, yeah, which I used to book and compare flights on the dates that I wanted to come, right? So let's say, for example, that time I was coming from Addis Ababa, that's where I was staying, and coming to Calgary, where I'm staying now. And of course, it was a one-way ticket, one-way ticket to the snow. Let's say in a month's time, select, and yeah, let's say one adult, right? And you search. The good thing about this, it will give you the comparison with according to other sites, right? Like, they'll give you the best in terms of time. In terms of time, the best one is, which one is this one? Air Canada. From where? Right? And this one was Canadian 1,300. We use a different flight, but I'm just saying, guys, if you wanted to check the cheapest, then maybe it would have longer hours, and then there's the fastest with shorter hours. This is 21 hours, shorter by at least 10 hours. And you need to think about also the stops, like depending on where you're from. For us, for example, and for many African countries, you cannot transit through two European countries without needing a visa. If you're transiting through one, then you don't need a visa. But if you transit through a second country, then you will need a visa. And you also need to think about if your stop is going to be in a country like the US. In the US, you really need a visa. So according to that, you need to make a decision of how you're going to be traveling. And also another thing that you would need to start thinking about at this point, like, you're not booking because you're waiting for your passport to come back. But if your passport does come back, you want to think about booking accommodation, unless you have family here, people to help you maneuver, someone to house you. And if you're coming here, you might want to think about booking on an Airbnb, right? To see if you can get. I really suggest getting an accommodation of 1 month, because there's a housing crisis here. We're gonna say, where is that place? Where? How do I search this thing? Anyway, use Airbnb, guys. Let's say you're going to Calgary. I'm going to use Calgary because that's where I am. And let's say you've landed on 22 and you want to check out on January 22, and it's just you. According to your budget, there are places, there are rooms, there are condos, there are homes. So according to that, you just check out and see what you need for you and your situation. Yeah. So yeah, I think those are the things that you need to think about after you get your ready for visa email. And so now we're going to go to the next chapter. And of course, guys, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, because that helps my channel, and I'm giving you all this, so show me some love, and hopefully we can continue to grow. And one last thing. I'm silly. Okay, bye.